Hello, everyone. This is author, motivational speaker, and dating coach Matthew C. Horn, and I'm bringing you a video tonight titled Sexually Attractive Men Must Be Cold in Dating. But before we go any further, always know that my videos in the dating space, they're inspired by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push me up the algorithm. Thank you to my new subscribers. Thank you to everyone who's been commenting and engaging. I see you, and thank you once again. But let's get right to it. Sexually attractive men must be cold in dating. I'm going to try to bring this together as best I can tonight. It's going to be some extremely elevated game. I don't know what to say about how this is going to come out, but it's something that if you're a certain caliber of man, then you're going to understand it. And if you're not, then tune in. I don't know what else to say, but this is extremely elevated game for sexually attractive men. I mean, the type of man I'm talking about tonight, he's the man that women show off. He's the man that's at the top of the food chain. He's very attractive. He really stands out amongst the pack of men. Women offer themselves to him, and he's always in the space of women who are telling him how handsome and attractive that he actually is. This is just his reality. And with this, you are the showpiece man. You are the man that can elevate the level of any woman that enters your space, amongst her girlfriends, amongst the pack of women that she's involved with. You're the man that she's going to show off, not the man that she will sleep with behind closed doors and not want anyone to know about it. You're the showpiece, especially if you're extremely attractive and you're successful, and God forbid if you don't have any children. You are at the top of the food chain. You are a very desirable man. And women will consistently let you know. They will show you off if they get the chance to, because they're going to pretty much be amongst their female friends and say, look what I found. Look how much of a bad that I am, that I can get this guy right here. This is the guy I'm talking about tonight. In this video, the need for it was simply because this man has to be cold. Women are coming at this man with 50,000 agendas. And oftentimes, those agendas do not serve the man, because he's a showpiece that can elevate the woman. And a lot of times, the woman can do nothing for him. Now, with this level of sexually attractive man, he's going to have attractive women that, he has access to, but a lot of those women are, they're delusional about their place in the food chain as well. So they'll mistreat this guy and know that they can't do any better than him, but they convince themselves that they can do better. So you'll see the sexually attractive man with women who aren't always as attractive as you would think that he would pair himself with. But, one aspect of the sexually attractive man is that, he has self-respect, and he's cerebral, and he's intelligent, and he's realistic. So he's not always going to have the dime piece, and he has access to a lot of these dime piece women, but these women are so delusional and full of themselves, and they're delusional because they're single as they can possibly be, and they're overinflating their sense of self, and they're mistreating very attractive men. Like, this happens. And so these attractive men would just rather not deal with them, because they still have access to a myriad of women. Even if the woman is not as attractive, they'll go for a better experience. And so that's what I'm going to talk about tonight, is the woman who could, she's not like the dime piece, but, moderately attractive, but, that man is just looking for a good experience. And a sexually attractive man is going to deal with a wide range of women, and sometimes it's just going to be a woman who's not the most attractive or is not at the highest place in the food chain. She's there and she's giving him a good experience. So he'll let these women into his space, but he'll make it very clear to her why he's there. Like, he knows he's not attracted enough to her to pair himself with her and, get into a relationship. But yet and still, he just wants maybe a good, consistent experience, and he's honest. And this is where you have to get cold, because it's not that dime piece that's the most dangerous. It's this woman. And I'm saying this because she has a lot to gain by being in your presence. And a lot of women, they're in competition with each other. And after a certain point where either they're not that attractive or they're getting older, and the offerings from men are different. Like, they're not in their 20s anymore, where men will put up with their BS and offer them relationships and marriage and stuff like that. About 28, 29, all that changes. But yet and still, he'll meet some of these women and not quite know who they are. But he'll just see if he can have a good, consistent experience with her. And he's going to be honest, like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. This is our intersection. Like, we're not going to be in a relationship, but we can have a good experience together. And so that's how the interaction begins. And a lot of times, this particular woman, she will agree to whatever this extremely sexually attractive man that really shouldn't even be in her presence. But he's there because he's true to himself and he's just looking for a good experience. So she'll agree to his terms. And that's just up front. She'll agree to his terms, and then she'll try to bait and switch. And essentially, she knows why that man is there. She knows, especially like if she's getting older, like, okay, this man might want children. Like, I might be older, I can't give him that. I know why he's here. Or she might not be like the most attractive. And once again, I know why he's here. And I don't have to go into detail. You know why he's there. And it doesn't just have to be something physical. It can be something enjoyable if she acts right. And that's why I said this is where it gets dangerous. Because instead of just abiding by the truth and the parameters of what you told her in terms of why you're there, they want to move the goalposts, and they want to see if they can somehow reclaim the glory days of when they had traction in this dating game. Like I said, when they were younger, maybe they were more attractive at a certain point in time in their life. The offerings from men were different. And this is just not her reality anymore. Guys are either telling them straight up they just want something physical, or they're lying to the women, and they'll spend weeks, months with these women, knowing that these women want more, but ultimately not giving it to them until the woman figures it out that he's not there for that. And so these women, instead of just enjoying you and having an extremely attractive man who has his stuff together in their space, a lot of these women will agree to whatever you told them that you want them for, and then they'll try to flip the script. And they'll try to flip the script, meaning that they'll try to make you jump through some hoops or put in some work, and that's not what you told them that you were going to do, because you know your place in the food chain. It is what it is, man. It just is what it is. And what happens with this woman is that once she tries to flip the script on this guy and tries to make him jump through hoops, he stands right where he is and he turns around. That's it. He's not jumping through any hoops, because ideally he shouldn't even be there in the first place. Like I said, I didn't know how I was going to bring this together, but this is just a true experience. And then a lot of those women, they'll get mad at the man, but they're more so mad at themselves. They'll get mad at the man because he won't turn the clock back for them. He won't put up with their BS like they were used to guys putting up with back in the day that were on his level. And he's just gone. As soon as he sees any difficulty or mismatches, like, he's just like, man, enough of this. Like, be glad I was even here in the first place. That's just the reality of the game. And she is frustrated with him, but more so frustrated with herself that she couldn't get this guy to jump through the hoops that only the lesser the less desirable man is going to jump through. This is a top tier man. And a lot of times with women, especially as they get older, what they do is, since they can't pin down a quality man, a very attractive, a very sexually attractive, successful, childless man, what they'll do is they'll get together amongst themselves and they will compare notes. And usually the woman who can pair herself, who has a quality boyfriend or a quality husband, she's at the top of the food chain as far as the hierarchy of the women that she's around. But since most of them can't pin that guy down, this is what it turns into. Who has the most attractive man that they can disrespect the most and make jump through the most hoops? So if she would have offered you the hoops after you told her the truth of why you were there and told her that you're not jumping through any hoops, this is what it's going to be. You know, you're honest because you know her place in your life. If this man were to jump through some hoops, she would run to her girlfriends and say, look at this sexually attractive man. Look at this sexy mofo here. Look at this man that has all this going for himself, not just attractive. She would run to her friends and say, look what I made him do to get me. Look what I made him do to get me. And then that will push her up in the hierarchy amongst her friends. This is real stuff, and it happens. That's why, you know, a lot of sexually attractive men, they can't make sense of why a woman who's not that attractive would try to make them jump through so many hoops and go through so many paces when they were honest with the woman and told them, I'm not doing that. Like, this is why I'm here. And they're confused. It's because you represent an elevated status in an elevated place within the hierarchy of her and her aging or unattractive friends. And so they'll do dramatic things. They'll do these reversals. They'll act like they didn't hear what you were saying when you told them why you're there and the only way that you're going to interact with them. They'll say things like, you know, when you meet up with them, oh, that went over my head. Like, they'll just play stupid because they know that the only way that they could get you in their presence is to agree 100% with whatever parameters you set on the table. So they'll play stupid. And they'll try to make you jump through some hoops that they didn't originally present before you two met up, with the hopes that you'll jump through the hoops so they can go back and brag to their girlfriends. Look at this man. They'll show pictures, and I can remember not too long ago, there was a girl. I mean, she was decent, and maybe much younger than me or whatever. But, you know, I've had much better looking women than her. It just is what it is. And she came to me and was like, do you know this person? And I was just like, vaguely. She's like, yeah, you know, she used to talk to one of your friends. I was like, oh, yeah, I remember her. But she came to me and asked me, did I know this girl that she worked with? Because she was showing me off to her friends. And one of her friends just happened to know me through someone that I used to be acquainted with. And so I'm bringing this to light because this is an exact example of what I'm talking about. I didn't go show this girl off. I mean, she was just there, you know, it was cool in the beginning, but she was looking at me as a departure in terms of the level of the type of man that she normally deals with. So I was a showpiece. And then right on schedule, she says, oh, you know, I know I agreed to get together with you on this day, but, you know, I was kind of thinking we could do this and this. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And she's just like, oh, well, you know, I really want to see you. And, but I just wanted to be a little bit more. And I said, no, I told you what it was in the beginning. And there was no fight for her. There was no trying to convince her. It was just like, all right, you know, ran its course. It was quick, whatever. And never thought about her again. But if I would have jumped through the hoops, she wouldn't just be showing me off. She would be showing me off and say, look what this man has to do for me to keep me. That's what she was hoping for. Because she knew deep down I wasn't going to get into a relationship with her. And that's how this game is played. See, as women are, unattractive, or as they begin to age and things like that, they have a change in identity. About 27, maybe 28 and under is youth and beauty, meaning that the world is their oyster. Guys are just going to offer them things because they're young, they're tender, they're in shape, they're gorgeous. They're looking the best they're ever going to probably look in their life. So they don't have to have an identity outside of youth and beauty. And then once that transition phases out, once that phase phases out, then it's degrees, it's houses, it's accolades, it's vacations. Like, that's where their new identity is. And then they'll try to present that to the extremely sexually attractive man that they had access to when they looked better, when they were younger. And then that man could care less. And they know he could care less, but they know that their best years have passed them by. And so you should value me because I work here, I make this money, I do this. But then that same woman will lie about her age. The same woman that says you should value me for my experience and, my money and my car, my house, look at my lifestyle. That same woman will lie about her age. And what is that an open admission of? It's an open admission of, I'm trying to tell you what you should value me for, but I know what you value me for. That's why I lie about my age. So it's just one of those complex games of women trying to reclaim their glory days. And that's why I say the sexually attractive man must be cold in dating, because women are coming at you to elevate them because they've lost traction in the dating game. They've just completely lost traction. And so they need you. And they don't just need you to be there. They need you to be there and put up with the same BS that quality men will put up with when they were younger. And so that's when you have to be cold. As soon as they try to flip the script on you and play games and do stupid stuff, just go, man. Just go. Because they know why you're there. And if they try to make you work and jump through hoops and do all that stupid stuff after they agreed to be with you in a certain capacity, their time is up. You have to toss them back to exactly where they belong, because they really don't belong in the space of a man like you, and they know it. And that's why they try to disrespect you and play with you, because they can brag to their friends and hopefully reclaim some of the glory from their glory days. And it doesn't work that way. So that's why you have to be cold, man. These unattractive women that you just may want to have a good experience with, that you're not just going to use them and treat them bad. You could actually be in their space and you all could maybe have something enjoyable for however long it lasts. But these type of women, instead of just having that enjoyable experience with an attractive man, they can still show you off, even though y'all aren't in a relationship. But they would rather disrespect you and make you jump through hoops because you have more value that way, because their value, since they can't pair themselves with an attractive, sexually attractive, high-level quality man, their value is in mistreating him and telling and bragging to their girlfriends and saying, look at all these hoops, look at this, look what I made him do. That's where you're most valuable. And that's why I want this sexually attractive man to understand. This is why you get the nonsensical mistreatment from average looking women or women who are losing their traction in the dating game. It's because they want to leverage their value off of yours. And the only way they can do that is to mistreat you, and you actually stick around for it. So that's why you have to be cold. Leave them where they stand, man. After they mistreat you, they'll try to turn around and, in so many words insinuate, aren't you going to work for me? And you'll stand right there and just say, I'm not going to get in your way. And you disappear. Send them back to wherever they came from. They have to live with their choices in life. They had their best years. They squandered them. They played around when the quality men were checking for them. And they're trying to reclaim those glory days, man. I've seen it so many times, and I left every woman right where she stood. And that's just how this game is played for the sexually attractive man. Like I said, they're going to have 50 million different agendas. You're the prized possession as a sexually attractive man. no children, successful, keeping yourself in shape. You can't pick that kind of man off of a tree, especially if you're still relatively young and you're looking young, you're looking good. You Women, I don't care how good they look, they can't pick that man off a tree. And if a lot of extremely attractive women are with men who aren't even on their attraction level, they've paired themselves with these men, that's because that's the best option they could have, because they couldn't even pin down that extremely sexually attractive man. So if they couldn't do it, then why are these run-of-the-mill, average-looking chicks, women who have lost their attraction, women who are aging, why are they trying to play this game with you? It's nonsensical, but it's all ego-based. As a sexually attractive man, like I said, there's going to be 50 million agendas women have for you. But number one, you are an ego boost. And the only way that they should really be in your space is if they're giving you the exact experience that you told them that you want. It's really that simple. And once they want to veer off the path and begin to get difficult and try to play games and try to put you under their thumb and, mistreat you, once they start doing that kind of stuff, man, you have to go. And it looks bad for them because either they're going to have to admit that you're gone or they're going to have to lie to their friends. But either way, once you're gone, you're gone. Because you can't tolerate that kind of stuff. You have to be cold. And cold is not being disrespectful to a woman. Cold is just adhering to whatever parameters you set. You told them exactly why you're there. So cold is as soon as you try to throw a wrinkle in the situation that I told you that I can only exist in with you. Cold means I'm gone. That's what it means. And it's okay, like I said in the beginning of the video, every sexually attractive man, especially ones that have self-respect, like you have dime pieces that you could be in their presence, but they're extremely nasty, disrespectful women. So, by default, you're going to be dealing with women who aren't as attractive, because a centered man, forget the sexually attractive stuff. A centered man is just going to be in a reciprocal, respectful space with a woman. So every woman is just not going to be like this dime piece. A really cerebral, intelligent man will push a disrespectful dime piece away and deal with an average-looking woman if she acts right. And it's a shame that you have to be cold to the lesser attractive woman, but it's just nonsensical that she would even try to play with you. Even Kevin Samuels said it. He said men will go down in looks for up in cooperation. And that's the whole point of what I'm saying, is that when you go down in looks and she's not cooperative, then that's when you really just have to be cold and just get out of there, man. I don't know how much sense this made. It made sense to me. No, I'm joking. I know it made sense, but this is something that my sexually attractive men out there, this is something that you experience, and I'm just trying to make some sense to it and just trying to help you to navigate it, because there's a lot of nonsensical mistreatment from women who you're barely in their space anyway. So if you get this video, you get it. But yeah, I've pretty much said all I have to say with it. Sexually attractive men, you're the object of every woman's affection. A lot of women have an agenda for you to bolster their ego and bolster their status amongst their other single, women who are getting older, or who are not as attractive, or who just lost traction in the dating game. Like, you're the prized possession that bolsters their status if you eat their stuff and they can brag to their friends about it. So just keep being cold, man. Don't put up with anything. I mean, you don't put up with anything from any woman, but this is this particular type of woman in particular, where she knows that you shouldn't even be there. And I've actually witnessed women say this, and these were women who weren't really playing. They weren't the most attractive, but they gave me a good experience. And I've even had women say, "Why are you here?" You know, like, why are you here? And I just told him, have more confidence in yourself. Have more confidence in the experience that you're bringing to me. You know, so this is a real thing. Everybody knows their place in the food chain, but the last thing you want to do is let a woman who is nowhere near you on the food chain actually think that she can play with you. And that's what this video was all about. But I said enough. This has been Matthew C. Horne, author, motivational speaker, and dating coach. Bring you a video tonight titled, Sexually Attractive Men Must Be Cold in Dating. It's brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life. In addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to help me to continue to grow the movement in the channel. And if you know that you could benefit from someone like me, Matthew C. Horne, author, motivational speaker, and dating coach, and get optimal experiences in the dating space, email me at matt@matthewchorne.com. We'll set up a consultation and we'll get you moving in the direction of your desired outcomes in the dating space. If the video has been of value to you, if your thought processes have been elevated, drop something in my donation information. Help me to keep going as I keep these videos going. And that's pretty much it. Just take that away tonight. Be cold. Understand your place in the food chain. You've done some work. You've elevated. You're at a certain place, and that's just the way life is. Life gives us exactly what we are. We can all aspire to become better than what we are. We can all play the hand that God dealt us and optimize it and get the best experiences. And once you've made it to the top of that food chain, don't let anybody play with you. I'll see you all soon.